In a world where gods walk among mortals, where the line between the divine and the human blurs, there lived a woman whose beauty was so radiant that it captured the admiration and the envy of gods themselves. Her name was Psyche, and her story is not just a tale of love, but a journey of trials, courage, and transformation. This is the story of Psyche and Eros, the god of love, whose union defied even the jealousy of Olympus. Psyche was no ordinary mortal. She possessed a beauty so perfect, so radiant, that people began to whisper that even the gods must envy her. Her fame spread across the lands, and soon, temples meant for the worship of the goddess of love herself, Aphrodite, were being neglected in favor of offerings to Psyche. Flowers, garlands, and gifts poured into her home as mortals knelt to admire her as though she were divine. But Aphrodite, the goddess of love and desire, was not pleased. Her heart burned with jealousy, for no mortal should rival the gods, and yet here was Psyche, whose beauty caused even the hearts of men and women alike to tremble. The goddess hatched a plan to humble this mortal, to teach her that no matter how radiant, mortals must remember their place beneath the divine. Aphrodite summoned her son Eros, the winged god of love, whose arrows could ignite desire in the hearts of gods and mortals alike. She ordered him, "Go to the mortal Psyche and make her fall in love with the vilest creature imaginable. Let her beauty become a curse." But as Eros approached the sleeping Psyche, gazing upon her serene face, something unexpected happened. For the first time, he felt a stir in his own heart, a desire that no arrow could inspire. He had fallen in love with her. Eros could not carry out his mother's plan. Instead, he whisked Psyche away to a palace hidden from mortal eyes, a place of golden halls and sparkling fountains, where night never felt dark, and the air shimmered with divine light. There, Psyche lived in comfort and splendor, though she was given a single, strange command: she must never attempt to see the face of her mysterious husband. Each night, Eros came to her in darkness, a shadowy figure whose touch was gentle and whose love was deep. Psyche's heart was full, yet her curiosity was stirred. She had never seen her lover, and though she adored him, a longing to know the truth grew within her. Days turned to weeks, and weeks to months. Psyche's life seemed perfect, yet the whisper of human curiosity, the one thing no god could ever command, began to take root. And as the mortal world often does, danger arrived in the form of her own family. Her sisters, jealous of her wealth and comfort, planted seeds of doubt, urging her to discover the identity of the man who loved her so mysteriously. One night, as Psyche's longing and doubt grew unbearable, her sisters persuaded her to light a lamp while Eros slept, to see the face of the one she loved so blindly. Trembling, Psyche took the lamp and gazed upon him. The sight was more beautiful than she could have imagined. Eros, the god of love, lay in slumber, radiant and perfect. But in her awe, a drop of hot oil from the lamp fell upon his shoulder, waking him. Shocked and hurt by her disobedience, Eros fled the palace, leaving Psyche alone and heartbroken. She wandered the earth, desperate to find the god who had once been her lover, yet now seemed lost to her forever. The story of their love had become a test, not of passion, but of courage, trust, and perseverance. Unable to endure her separation from Eros, Psyche sought help from Aphrodite herself, who, seeing an opportunity to humiliate her further, set a series of impossible tasks. First, Psyche was commanded to sort a huge heap of mixed grains, wheat, barley, millet, and poppy seeds, by nightfall. Exhausted and despairing, she despaired until a group of ants appeared, helping her organize the grains with tireless care. Next, She was sent to fetch the golden fleece from dangerous rams. With caution, courage, and quick thinking, Psyche gathered the fleece without harm. Her third task took her to the underworld, to retrieve water from the river Styx in a crystal vessel. She almost failed, but an eagle, sent by Zeus, guided her safely. Finally, Psyche was instructed to bring a box of beauty from Persephone, queen of the underworld. On her journey, she nearly succumbed to curiosity again, opening the box, only to fall into a deep, death-like sleep. Yet Eros, still watching over her, could not bear her suffering. He intervened, reviving Psyche, and finally, the gods themselves acknowledged her courage and devotion. With her final trials completed, Psyche's bravery and steadfast love earned her the admiration of Olympus. Zeus himself granted her immortality, allowing her to join Eros forever. Their union became a symbol of love enduring through trials, a love that could survive jealousy, mistrust, and the challenges of both mortal and divine worlds. Psyche, once a mortal woman whose beauty had stirred envy among gods, was now immortal, her soul united with the god not for shame, but for the sacred hues of love. The story of Eros and Psyche is more than a love story. It is a tale of the soul. Psyche's name itself means soul in Greek, and Eros embodies love, desire, and the transformative power of passion. Their tale teaches that love demands trust and courage, and that trials, though daunting, can lead to growth and divine reward. Through the centuries, this myth has inspired countless works of art, literature, and thought. From Renaissance paintings depicting Psyche's ascension to modern psychological interpretations of the soul's journey, their story remains timeless. Psyche's story shows that love is never simple, but when faced with trials, patience, courage, and trust can transform even the impossible into the eternal. What would you have done in Psyche's place? Would you have peeked at Eros? Share your thoughts. And remember, the tales of gods and mortals are never truly over. They live on in our hearts, our stories, and the myths that shape us. The myth of Eros and Psyche occupies a distinctive place within the landscape of Greek mythology. To understand why this tale still captivates audiences today, we must look deeper into its symbolism and cultural context. Let's explore the importance. On the surface, it is a love story. The god of desire, Eros, becomes entangled with a mortal woman of such beauty that she provokes the jealousy of Aphrodite. But as with so many myths, the narrative functions on multiple levels, reflecting cultural anxieties, values, and aspirations of the society that told it. End quote. Let us first consider Psyche herself. Her very name, Psyche, in Greek, means soul, or breath of life. Already then, her story is about more than an individual. She represents the human soul and its encounter with love, with desire, and ultimately with immortality. Her beauty is not simply physical, but emblematic. It threatens the established hierarchy of the gods, particularly Aphrodite, who embodies divine beauty and sexual power. Thus, Aphrodite's jealousy may be seen as a reaction to the idea that mortal qualities might rival divine prerogatives. End quote. Eros, in this myth, departs from his earlier portrayals. In archaic poetry, he is a disruptive force, sudden and overwhelming, who drives both gods and mortals into passion. Yet here, he acquires a depth of character. He becomes a lover capable of tenderness, secrecy, and vulnerability. His union with Psyche introduces the possibility of reciprocity in divine love, something rare in Greek myth, where relationships between gods and mortals are often predatory or tragic. End quote. The central motif of the story is the injunction that Psyche must not look upon her mysterious husband. This recalls a widespread theme in myth, the prohibition that, when transgressed, alters the relationship between human and divine. Think of Orpheus, who turns back to gaze upon Eurydice, or of Pandora, who opens the forbidden jar. In each case, curiosity or desire for knowledge leads to rupture. For the Greeks, such stories articulate the dangers of stepping beyond human limits, of attempting to grasp divine mysteries. When Psyche does transgress, a journey transforms into one of trial and endurance. The tasks imposed by Aphrodite, sorting seeds, gathering golden fleece, descending to the underworld, are typical of initiation-like ordeals. They recall the labors of heroes, yet here undertaken by a mortal woman in pursuit of love. Each task symbolizes an aspect of the soul's growth: patience, courage, resilience in the face of death. Significantly, Psyche succeeds not by strength alone, but often through assistance. Ants, reeds, and an eagle intervene. The natural world itself aligns with her, suggesting a cosmic sympathy for the trials of the human soul. At the culmination of the myth lies in Psyche's apotheosis. She is granted immortality and formally united with Eros. Their daughter is named Voluptas, pleasure or delight, a fitting emblem of their union. In Greek terms, this is extraordinary. Very few mortals achieve genuine immortality through marriage to a god. Psyche thus becomes not merely a symbol of the soul's trials, but also of its potential elevation, a theme that resonated powerfully in later philosophical and even Christian interpretations of the story. Why then is this myth important? Firstly, it demonstrates the elasticity of Greek mythological storytelling. While it shares motifs with traditional folktales, the jealous goddess, the forbidden sight, the impossible tasks, it also gestures toward profound psychological and spiritual meanings. Secondly, it reveals how myth could serve as a mirror for human experience. The tension between desire and trust, between suffering and redemption, is not unique to the ancient world, but universal. And finally, the story of Eros and Psyche invites us to reflect on the nature of love itself. Love is here portrayed not as an effortless gift, but as something to be tested, strained, and ultimately strengthened through trial. In this sense, the myth is not only enchanting, but instructive. It suggests that the soul's fulfillment comes only through perseverance, and that love, once earned through hardship, is capable of transcending even the boundary between mortality and divinity. To the Greeks, who so often emphasized the limits of the human condition, this myth offered a tantalizing vision, that through love, the soul might achieve a kind of eternity.